A hard truth that your Japanese language school won't tell you. I recently interviewed a candidate for a Tier 2 startup. He had a perfect N2 certificate. He had studied Minna no Nihongo for 2 years, but when the CTO asked him a simple question, "Can you walk me through your logic for this database schema?" He froze. He couldn't find the words. He didn't know the jargon. He failed the interview in less than 5 minutes. In 2026, the JLPT N2 is no longer a golden ticket. It has become a false sense of security. I've seen hundreds of N2 and even N1 holders get rejected this year because they are academically fluent but professionally illiterate. If you are spending 4 hours a day memorizing kanji lists for a test, you are preparing for a world that doesn't exist in the Tokyo tech scene. Today, I'm gonna explain why N2 is getting you rejected and the specific type of Japanese you should be learning instead if you actually want to get a high-paying offer. Hi, I'm Kei. I'm an engineer and a recruiter here in Tokyo. I see the gap between Japanese for tests and Japanese for work every single day. For years, the advice has been just get N2 and you'll find a job. In 2024, maybe that worked. But in May 2026, with the market being more competitive and companies expecting higher ROI, N2 is just the bare minimum, and often it's the wrong kind of minimum. Let's talk about N2 trap and why it's killing your chances at Tier 2 and Tier 3 companies. The problem with the JLPT is that it tests recognition, not production. You can recognize 1000 kanji, but can you push back on a product manager when they ask for an impossible deadline? Can you explain a bug in a way that doesn't sound like a textbook? Most N2 holders arrive in Japan with the polite robot Japanese. In the reality, in a high-speed startup, we don't talk like textbooks, right? We use jargon, we use katakana English tech terms, and we use a specific cadence. The rejection reason. When a CTO hears you speak like a textbook, they think, oh, this person is gonna be slow to communicate with. Every Slack message will take them 10 minutes to write. Every stand-up will be awkward. They aren't rejecting your Japanese. They are rejecting the friction they think you will cause in the team. So, if N2 isn't the answer, what is? It's what I call engineer Japanese. Engineer Japanese is a subset of the language. It's 20% of the vocabulary that does 80% of the work in a tech office. It's knowing how to describe a problem. There's a latency issue in the API. Suggest a solution. I think we should refactor this component. Navigate social tech culture. Knowing when to be keigo and when to be casual during a code review. I've seen candidates with 0 JLPT get hired at 10 million salaries because they could speak engineer Japanese fluently. They sounded like they belonged in the room. They didn't sound like they were taking a test. How do you learn this? You won't find it in Minna no Nihongo or Genki. You need to stop studying and start emerging. Instead of Anki cards with random nouns, you should be listening to Japanese tech podcasts like Rebuild FM or watching Japanese devs live code on YouTube. You need to hear the music of how they talk about technical problems. I'm actually finishing a full guide on this exact method, the immersion strategy, which I'll be releasing in the next video. It's the same method one of my inner circle members used to prepare for his move to Tokyo this July, and his Japanese sounds more natural than most N1 holders I know. In May 2026, companies are looking for cultural and technical fit. The N2 is a signal that you can study hard, but your ability to speak engineer Japanese is a signal that you can work hard. Don't let the certificate be the reason you get lazy with your actual communication skills. Use the side door. Focus on what matters to the CTO, not the test examiner. I know this is controversial and many language schools will disagree with me. But I'm telling you what I see in the actual hiring rooms of Tokyo. because this is so critical. I've included an Engineer Japanese survival kit in the 2026 relaunch of the Japan Tech Playbook. It's a list of the exact phrases and jargon you need to survive your first month in a Japanese startup. Join the Inner Circle waitlist in the description to get notified the moment the playbook drops. And more importantly, subscribe, because in the next video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to implement the immersion method so you can stop studying and start getting hired. Let's open that side door. See you in the next one. ありがとうございました。